Hello, everybody. So, I have just finished stream. I did my pack openings for the progression series, and I wanted to. I just mocked up a deck, and I think this is what I'm going to be playing during the progression series episode tomorrow night. And I wanted to share it. If you were watching this before me and Anthony throw down, you are a patron, and patrons get to see this first. Um, this will be really for the patrons watching. This will be releasing after the series. That way, everybody can kind of like analyze what we did and all of that after the fact. In the meantime, though, the deck that I'm going to be playing is Stall Stun Deck Out Troll Shenanigans. Hear me out. I got 3 copies of Pot of Greed and an Upstart Goblin, which basically means that my 40 card deck has effectively been turned into a 33 card deck. And by that logic, my goal is to sort of wait out my opponent, is to sort of deck out my opponent or make them lose all their life. And in the process of doing this, I kind of plan on having the game play out as long as humanly possible. Now, the only way I lose here is if, frankly, and only if, he runs a bigger deck than me. So, the cards that I am running are as follows. 2 Aquamador. They have a fat ass. 2 Dark Elf. They got a big front. The Bistro Butcher. This card is good because it basically, if there is a discrepancy between me and my opponent, this card basically allows them to, makes them draw multiple cards. I have the Big Eye to sort of like layer my opponent's cards and keep an eye out for like any problems. Sangan, so I can get to things like Big Eye, Man-Eater Bug, things of that nature. Just things like so I have padding. Same thing with Mystic Tomato. It's honestly more warranted for me to get to Mystic Tomato and then just kind of like just to prevent me from getting attacked, taking damage. Man-Eater Bug, just because it's just a solid flip monster, tribute to the Doomed. Because monster destruction is nice. Swords of Revealing Light, again another stall card. Short Sword and Shield, just a nice way to like sort of like throw the game around a little bit and maybe turn my Aquamador into a big ass beater. Raigeki, in case I really need that board gone. Again, 3 Pot of Greed. It basically turns my 40 card deck into a 36 card deck. Horn of Heaven. If this is generally to be safe if they're summoning a big ass monster, and that allows me to prevent it. Heavy Storm. Depending on what I have on field, this might very well be a dead card, but it is frankly the only type of like spell trap removal I have access to, so I have to take what I can get. Robber Goblin, which basically forces my opponent to gimp their hand every single time I inflict battle damage. So say Bistro Butcher, they send 2 cards they draw 2 cards, then they immediately have to discard one of them. Stop Defense, it basically makes it, if I need to get rid of a defense position monster, it has that. Share the Pain, I tribute 1 monster, preferably a Sangan, and then they tribute another one too. Upstart Goblin, because yes, it gives my opponent 1,000 extra life. It also is just basically a neutral card. It turns that 34 card deck into a 33 card deck. Gravekeeper's Servant. This is where a lot of the discarding is going to go from, and essentially, what I am kind of planning on doing is I want to have like this card, like mainly a lot of what I'm doing here is a lot of deck thinning to get to my trolley cards. Cyberjar. Destroy all monsters on the field, and then both players reveal the top 5 cards of their deck, and then special summon all revealed level 4 lower monsters in attack position or face down defense position, and then add any remaining cards to their hand. The whole point of this is the cord of just like force more cards out of my opponent's deck, and if I happen to special summon some monsters, great. Preferably, I want to flip this face up on my turn, so I can then fill my field with a bunch of things, and then have a grand old time. Mystic Tomato, because this will basically, if it's destroyed by battle, sent to the graveyard, I can special summon a dark monster, preferably Sandgan. It's a bummer I can't go into Booster Beecher, but at the very least, I can say stack my opponent's deck, at the very least. Kuribo, because it's a hand trap, and it'll deflect battle damage, which can be useful. Paralyzing Potion, because basically, unless Anthony's running a lot of machines, this card will basically prevent whatever monster they have from being a problem. And Thunder Dragon. Why am I running Thunder Dragon? Well, Thunder Dragon, I can discard the card and add 2 Thunder Dragons from my deck to my hand. There's a lot of discarding going on with card effects, and basically being able to thin my deck out to get to more of my playmakers, and also have 2 cards that are completely disposable in hand is very useful. Especially with this card, you don't want to see more than 1, but it's like 1 is what I need. More than that is a brick. So that's kind of where I'm going for on this. This is, broadly speaking, going to be the deck, and I'm locking it in here. And if I change anything, I'm gonna maybe put up another video on the Patreon explaining it, and that'll be the one that goes out to the public. But regardless, I am reasonably confident that this deck is going to be good. I had a few options on what I could do. I actually genuinely recently could have done a ritual deck, which would have been a ton of fun. I could have done some flip shenanigans. But honest to God, I really, really, really thought Stall would have been the way to go, at least to me. And I think that either way, I'm relatively ready to go at this point. I am fingers crossed this goes well tomorrow. I know it's been so long since we last did a progression series, but ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. So, regardless, thank you so very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate you bunches and bunches. A big thank you to my patrons watching this video before this video goes live. I thank thanks to each and every one of you, and a big thanks to Anthony for doing this series with me. I have a ton of fun. I'm going to leave you guys with the illustrious beats of the great Villainous Styles. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm gonna go play some Pokemon with my girlfriend. Have a good one.